Today we're doing section 1.2, day 2, and again we're discussing the basics of functions. So we're going to discuss function notation. So in Algebra 2, you used to use inequalities for your domain and range. Now we're going to kind of phase that out, and we're going to use include parentheses versus brackets. So as you know, your domain is measured going from left to right. And it's the values that are included. Okay, and you could also think of, instead of like left to right, you could think least to greatest, because that's what we're doing. Range, when we state our range, we are looking at the y values bottom to top. And I guess we should kind of indicate that this is our x's. Not that I don't think you know that, but just a general reminder. And that our range is our y's. So for our first example, when you're looking at these problems, again, domain is our x value, so we're going left to right. So notice the left value I have is -2, and the way we indicate it's included is a bracket, and it's included because that's a closed dot. And then I go over here, and I write a comma, and it ends at the y value of 1. So notice we're kind of phasing out the inequalities that we used to use. So now we're going to kind of flip our brains, and now we're going to do the range, which is our y value. So the smallest y value I have is 0, and again, it's included. And the highest y value I have is 3. So same idea as last year, just a little bit different is how we write the answer. F of 1 means when x is 1, what is y? So my y value is 3. And for this one, this means that they're telling you that y equals 0. And when y equals 0, x equals -2. So let's try another one. So here again, our domain left to right. So going to the left, the least value I have for my x's is -2. But because it's an open dot, we're now going to use a parenthesis rather than a bracket. And it ends at the value of a +2. Because this is a closed dot, we use a bracket. Okay, so now we kind of, again, flip our brains, how we're looking at this. So my y value is -1. So we start at -1. Open dot means it's a parenthesis. And the highest y value I have is 2 with a bracket. So now function notation, so it says f of -2. So because when x is -2, it's an open dot, this answer would be undefined. There is no defined y value when x is -2. When x is +2, however, the y value is 2. And then lastly, f of x equals 0. So my picture, I think, comparing the two, it's drawn a little bit different. Based on yours, you're drawing x equals 0, so my line should have been crossing at the origin, and I didn't draw it too well. So just pretend that that's going through the origin based on your picture. Okay, one more. So the last one, again, left to right. So when I'm looking at this, my x values are between those two constrictions. So it's going from -2, which is included, to 1, which is not included. Now we're looking at our y's, and my y's are going from 1, 2, 3, 4, -4 with a bracket, and the highest y value I have is +2 with a bracket as well. So some students will say, I don't see a closed dot, why are you putting a bracket there? But remember, the reason this is a solid line is because it's made up of a bunch of solid lines, and we connect the dots. When x is 1, my y value is undefined. When y is -3, my x value is roughly, let's say, -1.8. So we would estimate that. Okay, that's all for today. So we're going to do lots of practice on this tomorrow. Be prepared to ask questions.